Welcome back to another episode of Aunt and Andrew with Family's Everything.
Until it's not. Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Aunt.
I want to apologize first that I have a cold.
She did not lose her voice in Tulum, though she's been to Tulum.
I have been to Tulum. I just told Andrew it is the best spa I ever went to by far. It was, I'm going to tell you, the person I was with actually cried.
Wow.
It was a
I was
girlfriend.
saying,
A
I was
girlfriend.
saying
She
to
cried.
Aunt that if you're going to have a theme party around a place, it has to be a little bit more mainstream than Tulum, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But
I
more
agree.
importantly, if you're going to have a party with this group of gals,
Mm,
don't have it centered around being Zen because it's never going to happen.
never going to happen. I'm going to tell you, though, the worst thing I saw in Tulum, and when I say Tulum, I mean the Tulum is like a state
Yeah.
in Mexico, is that in the parking lot, they had baby lions.
Drop-offs?
No, baby tigers,
Oh.
baby tigers. They were baby tigers. They weren't baby lions, baby tigers that they were keeping in cages, and you could pay to have a picture with them. And it was vile to me, vile.
Oh, I love how much of an animal rights icon you are.
I'm not an animal rights. You know, I'm not anything about that, but I just saw that as I just thought it was horrible the way they were keeping these cubs in these little like shoe boxes. And then they were sweating and they were hot, you could tell, and they were being abused, I felt. And
I could never profit off my dog unless it was air conditioning. She was getting great treatment.
no, these weren't their pets. And
No.
then I saw Tiger King. Was that what it was called? Tiger King? Yeah, and they abused their tigers too. And it made me feel like I was on the side of right.
Well, before we get started, subscribe, like, share some comments with us. I learned a lot in the comments this week.
I know.
Did you see the most recent one?
Okay. Well, as some of you may know, Fuda.
John
Fuda.
Fupa.
Fuda. Some of our comments are calling him Fupa.
So we may call him that from time to time.
So if you don't know what, should we tell them what a Fupa is?
No, we're not going to tell them. You can
Okay. Go Google what Fupa means.
And then one of our lovely listeners called John Fupa that.
Yeah, they call him John
find
Fupa.
out that his issues were in his 20s and it was narcotics. Weed is not narcotics. Thank you.
No, it's not. I know.
So,
he's trying to
between the lines.
And so okay, Envy moved to a bigger store. Did you know they were moving?
No, I bet that their rent got too expensive where it was and they had to relocate and it's just bigger.
It's just bigger and it's whatever. Now, when she was talking about the Envy fashion show, what did you long for?
A posh fashion show.
Me too. All I could think of is there's no way it's going to be as good as a posh fashion show because they were iconic.
But you know what? Teresa and Kim D are back friends. If there's a podcast you want to listen to, I highly recommend. If you want to see three grown-ass women interrupt each other the whole time and not know how to keep pace, tune into Teresa, Jacqueline Larita, and Kim D part 1. You then get blessed to watch Melania part 1 with Teresa. So I would watch it. It's on YouTube.
Oh, I'm going to watch it because
I hope all three of them then recommend Aunt and Andrew to all their listeners.
Yes, please.
Like I just did free publicity
for them. I did. That's all I could think of is how much I miss the posh fashion shows. They were so great. Now, we found out in this episode that Louis was the one that got the booze.
We knew that the episode before. Well, we knew it was his idea and all that.
It was his idea, but it was all his idea. And I still don't think he should have burnt the card and he should have looked at it. But did we even see Joe Gorga this episode? No. Oh, well, that was rare. Actually, we didn't see any husbands until the party. Basically.
Yeah, and you know what was interesting? At the party, if you look in the background, there's a couple of moments where the husbands are definitely all talking together. Yeah. I have a feeling that they don't know when the cameras are going to be like on them or not, but they're always mic'd up. So they have to like just consistently like talk and do things and this, that, and everything else. And it was just interesting watching that happen because let me tell you, those cameras weren't leaving anything, and we'll get there, but Jennifer and Danielle. So prior to that, what were your thoughts?
Well, okay. I just said that we didn't see any husbands. I lied because we saw Louis And we saw
We just didn't see the
Danielle's.
husbands really together. We saw them in passing with the wives.
No, but we didn't see Joe, but we did see Paulie, and he is very insistent that Doloris have no surgery. He's like, that's his line in the sand.
Oh, wait, didn't she get a bunch of work done like
She has
last year?
things done all the time. Like she said, it's a work in progress. It's constant. If you look at pictures of Doloris before and now, it is a different
No, I
woman.
know, but even since she got with Polly, she got some stuff done. I think that what he doesn't want to know is in advance, and his whole mindset is you're not getting it. But what is he supposed to do once she has a new ass?
Well, she already had that.
That's what I'm saying. What was he supposed to do?
I don't know what else she needs done. Oh, she said that her stomach was a little flabby, like it wasn't tight. She probably wants it tightened up.
Oh, well, I think you look great, Dolo.
I think she looks fantastic. And you know what? I know someone who just had some plastic surgery, and they spent a lot of money, and they don't look that much different.
I hope they don't listen to this show.
I hope they don't either.
But I will tell you this. I didn't. I will say that, just briefly, because I didn't think it was that big of a thing, the whole Jackie Doloris thing. I want to say, I give you both credit. Jackie, you didn't overdo it with saying Margaret, 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 Margaret. You just said, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. But Margaret was the one. And Doloris, good control. You let Jackie share her piece. You realize you're not really friends. I think Jackie knows you're not really friends. I don't think there needs to be an additional
that doesn't just leave it there.
Just
leave it there
Please,
and let it go.
please.
Yes. But I do think Jackie is at a disadvantage when she has to go to a party alone.
Yeah, and I think that her husband, because he's definitely not being paid, if she's only a friend, he's definitely not being paid, and he has a legitimate real job, and they have like 20 kids. I can see why
I
he
think
wouldn't
only
go
4.
too.
I
Yeah,
think
4
they
or 5.
only have 4.
What I will say is that I don't think that what Teresa and Jennifer said about Jackie to Doloris was like, if you look at the online, the comments and the posts when they're like, oh, well, I don't care that much. I just need her to expose Margaret. That's not really what they said. They didn't say that they don't like Jackie. They're only friends with her to expose Margaret. What they're saying is that they don't care that Jackie called Doloris. They're basically saying, we don't really care that, like, she shouldn't have called you a slob, but it's not going to change our thought that she could expose Margaret. We also have to remember this was filmed 6 to 8 months ago, maybe even longer. And so the friendship.
Yeah, it was like last summer. They went to college.
We watched blossom for Teresa and Jackie, or the friendship of today. This might have been at the beginning. And when Teresa said, Jackie's here to expose Margaret and I get to be good to her, maybe that was the reason why Teresa let Jackie in. But then maybe through that.
No, Teresa is totally, friends. And listen, I'm team Tree day in and day out. Tree totally was befriending her to get the tea on Margaret,
but
without a doubt.
I just said, but the friendship of today might actually be a real friendship.
Be legitimate. But initially,
a year ago, she might have welcomed her in to get the dirt on Margaret. And through that, they became real friends.
Right. But Andy said to Jackie last week, or the week before, whenever she was on with Jen Fessler on Watch What Happens Live, that even if things came out and things were said, she still wouldn't regret what she did this season.
Jackie wouldn't.
Yes.
But I don't think you're going to see, I think people are trying to make a mountain out of a molehill and try to put Teresa up against Jackie because they're the desperate Melissa and Margaret fans online. And I think that they're going too quickly because I think that this is going to be the closest moment to an issue between Teresa and Jackie. And I don't think they're going to even look at it like that because I think they've been through so much together. I mean, remember, Teresa had a Christmas party. That was one of the big moments where and that was off camera, or it may have been on camera. I don't know if they were still filming, but back around December, right? And that's when we first saw Teresa invite Jackie, and it was her, Jennifer, and Teresa. Well, that was 6 months, 7 months after this. I will tell you now, if Jackie gets mad at Teresa and Jennifer for saying what they said this past episode, after everything they've been through since, she's not worth it. She doesn't use her brain.
Great. Totally agreed. I'm going to tell you, I believe, first of all, I'm Team Tree. We know this, okay? I love Teresa. I get her whole mindset of what she's trying to do and bring this one in, etc. But this is the first episode where I thought to myself, legitimately, Louis a little bit of a tool.
He is a tool.
Yeah. I mean, the way he was running around with the flowers before the party and the way he wears the give me pizza, you troll, and the namaste, and oh, it's too manufactured for me. And this is where I told you, I mentioned this last time, that Joe Giudice was the right guy for Teresa at that point in her life.
Mm-hmm.
And this was, and Louis the right guy now. But I take that back.
Well, can I just say something?
I'm going to tell you, Teresa would be a whole different woman if she went back with Joe Giudice.
I don't know if they'd last because I think Teresa is too strong, and I think Teresa is too she knows the thing. She won't put up with some of the same ways in which Joe wants to lead a marriage. I think Louis her bitch.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and Joe Giudice never was.
And also Louis
Ever.
doesn't hype.
But
Teresa
I'm going to
up
go
anymore.
on the record. I mean, I know this is water under the bridge. I'm going to go on the record. If my husband did something that put me in jail, I wouldn't talk to him either.
No, I get that.
I mean, totally, I wouldn't.
But what I'm saying is I think now Teresa's too smart.
Because I don't look good in orange.
Teresa's too smart and too experienced as a housewife to let Louis put her in a bad position. So even all these rumors we've heard of Louis this, Louis that, with
the rumors,
Teresa has nothing to do with those. She will never sign something with Louis like that. She is so tight with her own personal future that I think that actually Louis serves a great purpose for her now in her life. He's her bitch and he keeps her zen.
Totally. Oh, and I just want to show everybody again, I'm wearing Jennifer Aydin's
and you are
necklace.
not getting compensated if they go
I'm not. I don't do anything. I don't, you know.
Well, I don't know why you're promoting her product multiple times.
Because she wears it all the time, and I just want people to see I got it. It was $50. It's not bad. It comes in gold. I got the silver.
Did you throw away any of your Macbeth collection jewelry yet? Now that you don't like Margaret?
I never bought anything for Margaret.
Or did you turn it over to Evidence with Vineyard Vines?
Oh, I know. Whatever happened to that lawsuit?
She settled.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. I will say, let's just get to you want to cut to the chase?
Yeah. I mean, what else is there?
There really isn't.
I mean, how many times did you watch the scene?
A few different times.
I watched it 4 times. I'll be honest. I watched the last 10 minutes 4 times.
I want to say one thing first before we dive into it. This was a very busy scene.
Lots of stuff.
I have opinions of kind of Jennifer, but also about Danielle too. What I will say that is, we have to remember that the whole idea of Margaret's got an arsenal came up last season.
Right.
This experience with Jackie, whether you're team Jackie or Doloris, I just want to say this before we get into this Jennifer and Teresa thing.
Yeah.
Or sorry, Jennifer and Danielle thing. What it showed is that Margaret does have an arsenal. That's all I want to say. It's a fact. She does. So now going to Danielle and Jennifer. Okay.
I just want to say something. I'm writing down notes as you speak because I don't want to interrupt you because people don't like when I interrupt you. I do want to say that the fans have really turned on Jackie and they loved her last season because she was behind Melissa. I should say Melissa's fans, Margaret's fans loved Jackie. They turned on her so fast.
I have a different opinion. I think that Jackie's storyline last year was hard to hate her. It was all about her eating disorder and all about her eating issues. And so it was like, what are you going to do? Be like, you suck, but like, everyone is in a decent place with you because everyone's like happy that you're healthy.
No, I'm just saying that people loved Jackie, I believe, in a lot of ways for no other reason that she supported Melissa and Marge. And now that she doesn't, the hate is fast. I'm just saying.
The hate is fast, but it's on both sides. I think the tree huggers hated her too with the whole Gia comment and all that.
Well, she did. And you know what? I do believe that that John Fugazi, who we're calling John Fugazi, and you know what Fugazi means in
yes, we
Italian?
all know what it is. Why are you? Thank you, Captain Obvious. Keep going. We have limited time here.
Okay. Sorry. Well, not everybody knows. Fugazi means like phony. I just want people to know.
Aunt also teaches kindergarten, if anyone wonders.
No, I don't. Okay. John Fugazi, it's going to come back and kick him in the butt this season that he brought up Gia.
See, okay, I went back and forth on this.
No, I'm just saying it's going to come
He
back to
didn't
haunt
do
him.
anything wrong though by bringing
I
up.
didn't say he did. I said it's going to come
Oh, yeah.
back and smack him where he doesn't want it.
However, I don't know. I don't know how much Teresa can twist that. All he said was, you know, if we're gonna talk
We know
about,
what he said. Yeah, he brought up Gia though, and
he didn't bring
everybody
up
should.
Gia. He brought up the accusation made about Gia. Gia didn't do any of
Right,
that.
but
Gia
he
has nothing to do.
brought it to light again where
But
it was in the dark. It
all I'm
should
going to say is
stay
this. I
there.
think his point was to bring up that Teresa doesn't want anyone talking about kids, but yet Teresa's willing to talk about him when he wasn't a kid now, or was a kid. Now, here's the deal. He wasn't a kid.
He wasn't a kid. He wasn't
Exactly.
a kid.
So,
And we need to bring up again the fact that John Food is not his name. I mean, people need to know that. That's not his name. He changed his name because of his record and he didn't want people to find it. But listen, I have no sympathy for anybody who goes on reality TV and thinks those skeletons are going to stay in the closet. If you think you can control it at all, the only way to control your skeletons in your closet is to let them out before it starts.
I'm going to give some free advice to John Fupa Fugazi.
Fupa.
Is that if you really want to be iconic, when Teresa does come at you for the Gia thing, you need to say, Teresa, but you're spreading false lies about me. And when she goes, I didn't, you should be like, Teresa, 2 things that I said were true. Name change and I got arrested. Pay attention, police.
Police. Oh, that would be so good.
If he
that
said
would be iconic.
I don't even think she'd be able to get mad. She'd have to laugh because that would be so quick and funny.
Oh, that's right. Because we go back to Danielle Staub.
And she said, and Danielle
changed
goes,
her
2
name.
things in that book are true.
True.
Name change and I got
arrested.
And that's what John.
Yeah.
2 things are true. Name change and I got arrested.
Do you know what sometimes I still say to people? Pay attention, police.
Oh, yeah.
And they think I'm rude.
Totally. I love it.
Because I am rude.
Same.
But I do say it, but they don't realize. Just like when I say, why'd they send a family van? Someday we're going to have to talk about my daughter's wedding when they sent the wrong car. And I started yelling at them, why'd you send a family van? That was funny. All right. You know, it's very interesting. We've got Jackie and Doloris. We've got Jennifer and Danielle. We've got Rachel and Teresa. Who's Melissa arguing with?
Why is that interesting?
No, who's Melissa arguing with?
No one.
No
but
one.
I also don't. Dolores
what about
and
Marge?
Jackie,
Marge, kind of Teresa. Yeah. Okay.
but
so
also like Teresa and Fuda really don't have an ongoing problem. Like we've already had a full episode where there hasn't been anything. They're not like eager to
she
go.
wasn't invited to the party.
Well, no shit. But
Well,
I don't think it's an ongoing. I don't think it's going to be. I'm hoping that I don't think the John Fuda stuff is going to continue this season. I think it's all Jennifer, Danielle. I mean, like,
oh,
there's
you
like
think
real
so?
stuff.
When what happened in this episode is going to change the whole trajectory. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I want to say before we get to it. Okay, Rachel's having all of these pains in her body right now.
Okay.
Because she's internalizing stress. If she truly has an autoimmune disease and you start to internalize your stress, you have a flare. And that's why she's having an arthritic flare right now. That's just my PSA for the day.
Okay. Well, we'll never get through this episode if we don't jump to the fight.
All right. Okay. So the fight. First of all, I had to watch it 2 or 3 times just to figure out what the problem was with the hairdresser.
I want to see the advertisement for the fundraiser. Did it say to raise money for X? Because if it did, then Danielle is misleading everyone that attended. Now, if it said proceeds from the event will benefit X, then her expenses being covered is understandable. Now,
Agreed.
What threw me for a loop was this idea that she felt that her time should be compensated.
No, that's what charity is. You donate your time.
Exactly. So like what I want to know is that like, wait, if your time being there, planning the event, being there, Danielle should like needed to be compensated, Jennifer thinking that Aiden plastic surgery being on the step and repeat is very justified.
Agreed. I agree with that. Yes, yes. And Namaste podcast or whatever else they wanted to put on there. But
here's
you
the real lesson.
Tell me what do you are around a lot more philanthropic events than me. Don't most cover their expenses and it's the proceeds that go to the charity?
Most of them have a sponsor to cover the expenses. I don't know many events that are, let's just say this, there's plenty of events that like, whether they get 80, 70, 80% of their expenses donated and in kind or through sponsor to cover those expenses, whatever, that may have like the final, 20 or 30% of those expenses come out of the revenue and then the profit is the donation, right? But I think that you and I are thinking about this a little bit more like town, school, going to a fundraiser versus a really, really wealthy person hosting a fundraiser. And I think that in that community, it's more like you're going to cover the cost and then everyone that's going is then going to make a donation, because at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff is a party. And so it's like, if you're, I don't know, say that you are able to give 2/3 of the donation to charity, the person giving the donation should know that 1/3 of it is going to the party.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, they should. But I know, like, even having things through the years, when your kids are in school and stuff, I don't know what was this money for that she raised?
I mean, I don't know, but also like, how are you even approaching donors if you're not letting them get a tax write-off on their donation? And if their donation isn't fully going to the nonprofit, how are they getting a tax write-off? They can't. So my thing is that like, there's two types of fundraisers. There's fundraisers and events where you can literally write a check while you're there to the nonprofit, get the tax receipt and it's tax deductible. And then what? Her party where she collects a bunch of money, deducts the expenses and her fee, and then writes a check from herself. So she's getting the tax deduction. No one else is.
Right. Okay. So do you think anything with Danielle is a little jealousy that Jennifer has a more lavish lifestyle?
I don't know if that had
because she brought it up. She brought it up when Jen said, when I do something like this, I cover the expenses and the money goes to the charity. And she was like, well, excuse me, I'm not a millionaire like you.
Well, it shouldn't have been about Jennifer. It should have been, well, excuse me, Nate and I don't have the kind of money that you and Bill do.
Right. But see, she didn't say that. She didn't say, well, I don't have your kind of money. She made it out to, you're a millionaire. You got a shore house. You've got this. Well, we've seen the shore house. I mean, okay, it's fine. And you've got cars and you've got this, but her husband's also a doctor.
I also don't think that Bill tells Jennifer how much money they actually have saved.
No, I don't think Jennifer ever even has a clue what he makes.
Or like what they have saved. Like she'd be probably shocked. Now, I'm not saying that maybe a majority of the money is in the business versus his personal, like you don't know any of that. But
I mean, Jen does make her own money. She's a housewife and she has this and that. But I have a feeling Jen doesn't pay any bills.
No, I don't think so at all.
No, I don't think she's ever really opening a checkbook.
I guarantee you that she's like not at all. So, I mean.
Okay. All right. So let's get to the hairdresser thing. I didn't follow it. I'm going to tell you.
So Danielle and Doloris' hairdresser was coming out with an extension line.
Extension line. And they asked her to be a model at the master class.
Now,
and there was going to be pictures taken.
Okay. But no, I know how this stuff works is like they'll go to reunions and they'll be around each other's hair people or they'll borrow each other's hair people. So I assume like, they do press together. And so the hair person might go and meet the other person. And so it all makes sense. We all know that like, Melissa stole Teresa's hair person, the whole thing years ago, right? Julius Michael or whatever his name was. Anywho.
Everybody wants Teresa's.
Well, no. Teresa's was hired by Bravo. Like,
no, Priscilla. But Teresa's Priscilla.
Bravo hires her. She does all of Watch What Happens Live, every single guest.
Yeah, I know that. That's what I'm saying. But
I don't even think Teresa uses her really anymore. Teresa rarely.
Oh, I don't know. She was at the party.
She's so booked. No, they're good friends.
She was at the Tulum party.
I think that for Teresa with Priscilla.
And she went to Tulum with Teresa.
Yeah, but this is my thing. Teresa and Priscilla are friends. I think that they have an unspoken deal that if Teresa needs her, Teresa gets her. But outside of Teresa, Teresa wants Priscilla to go and make money and do her thing. And I also think that Priscilla probably charges Teresa peanuts and probably charges other people more full price, Bravo full price.
Oh,
The other shows.
probably. Yeah,
She does every like Vanderpump Rules person, every Summer House person, whenever they're in New York.
Right.
Priscilla does their stuff.
Yes.
So I have a feeling that Teresa just has an unspoken deal that it's like she probably has never raised her price on Teresa. She probably appreciates what Teresa's done for her.
Well,
And
probably.
therefore,
Okay.
and I know that Priscilla's come out with some products. I bet Teresa's even a part of those, like marketing wise or investment wise.
Okay. So let's get back to.
So all that Jennifer was, or all Danielle says that she was doing.
She was just giving her a heads up.
I actually think that what Danielle did was very kind.
Oh, okay.
Danielle was giving Jennifer.
I was having trouble
up.
following it.
Now, like what I think Jennifer, I think that the fight itself, it's a twofold thing. Who do I blame on like the argument becoming as big as it was? Jennifer Aiden. But I also don't blame that. I look at it as being a very good housewife, creating action and making sure that it gets filmed and it gets on TV.
Correct. I agree with that. Yes.
But I think the actual fight, they're both to blame because they were both acting like animals in that moment.
Agree.
And it was more of a matter of who's going to hit who first versus who hit who first. I don't.
Oh, I like that.
If Jennifer had gone back with another insult, something really dirty or nasty, I wouldn't have been surprised. Or if she had lunged at Danielle the way Danielle lunged at Jennifer, I could see Danielle pushing Jennifer too, because it's natural if someone's coming at you to go at them.
Right. Okay.
And I also think that throwing the drink was very natural. And I don't think any of them really got hurt. And I think that it's like, I think that that's like an afternoon in New Jersey. So I'm
going to tell you, I watched it and I thought definitely without a doubt, why'd I call it Jackie? Jennifer threw Jennifer, she was coming at her and she pushed her back. But Danielle's response was not the same as Jennifer's push.
That's because Danielle's a tough bitch and could beat the shit out of Jennifer.
Is. And that's where she lost it. I mean, smashing somebody with a drink.
She didn't smash anyone with the drink. She didn't smash a drink. It was a plastic cup. Do not make it seem like she threw a brick through her window.
Yeah, but a plastic cup can still hurt you.
Jennifer was not hurt.
She wasn't hurt. I thought she handled it pretty well.
I
thought Jennifer's reaction to it all was, "Oh, you just made a mistake and you better pull it back really, really quick." For the cameras.
I think that they were both fine in that moment.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I think Jennifer realized that now, did they get suspended for that or is it for something else? Oh, that wasn't the suspension?
No, the suspension, she threw a glass pitcher.
Oh, that's right. And that wasn't it.
No. They get into a second physical fight at the end of the season. That's like the big thing. That's why they show rails all derailed.
Right. I know. Oh, so this wasn't it.
No, this is like the appetizer to the main course.
Oh my God. This is just a little crudité.
That's why I'm saying that like it's.
Oh, so wait a second. You're telling me, now I hope we're not giving anything away, that Danielle is going to
I don't know who does what. I don't know who does what. They get into a fight.
But we don't know who threw the pitcher.
We also don't know how it escalates. We don't even know if they get mad about this little fight. Jennifer seemed unfazed. And I think Danielle was trying to have her Jackie Larita moment when she was crying in the car after the posh fashion show.
But was that a camera in the car or did the cameramen go in the car?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I wondered because that and also who was the one that said that that was on Watch What Happens Live. Rachel said that Jennifer and Teresa had this all planned beforehand in the season and you saw it. I'm actually going to tell you, Rachel came off terrible, I thought, on Watch What Happens Live.
Okay, but we're jumping. Why are we jumping to her on Watch What Happens Live?
Okay. All right, go ahead. I just want to say because she came off bad.
But I will say this, Jennifer is stretching this whole story. I don't think that
Jennifer was making a mountain out of a molehill.
Totally. And I can see why Danielle got upset because like it's the same reason why when did this happen on another show recently? where someone accused someone of not donating money or like doing something wrong. This happened at like on another season where was it Salt Lake?
I was going to say, is it Salt Lake? Are we back to
was
my
something
beautiful Lisa
where
Barlow?
someone accused one of them of
Oh, wasn't it with Heather?
Heather Gay.
Yeah.
With what though? What did
Maybe with the other blonde. Can't think of her name right now.
with Whitney?
Yeah, Whitney.
About what though? What was the thing?
I don't know, but I think I know what you're talking about.
There was some other thing where it was like it made them look like they don't do something that like is pretty much day to day, like the definition of right or wrong. Like you would never take from a charity kind of a thing.
Right.
And I just
Well, we
think
can
that
think about it. There've been
whenever
enough
you
charity
accuse a
events.
housewife of like something legal or doing something like it's kind of like also what Phaedra back in the day accused Candy of with like drugging people and sleeping with them. Like that's a bold accusation.
That's
That
bold.
is
You
hard
better
to
have
go away from.
receipts, timeline, screenshots.
That wasn't a funny.
Oh,
You
I'm
doing
just
it again just now in this moment. I'm bullying Aunt right now, just so everyone knows. You're not funny,
It doesn't
Aunt.
bother me. It
No,
doesn't
but my
bother me.
point is that I can see why Danielle got super defensive, and I can tell you that Jennifer, like, I get what Jennifer was trying to do.
Jennifer was trying to start an argument because it's
tried to
good for a
spin.
party to have an argument. And I believe Jennifer kicked into the argument once she realized that Doloris and Jackie weren't going to give any heat.
No, that was not even.
I think
connected.
it
Jennifer
you know
doesn't think that much, and she doesn't make those decisions. Production does.
No, I'm not saying that. But it could have been Jackie and Doloris could have escalated.
That wasn't going to be escalated. There was nothing to escalate.
Well, she called her a slob, which I found out in Jersey is a big deal.
Yeah, but that was last episode. That was already over with. They just had to kind of recap it because there was no follow-up.
Okay.
Jennifer is trying to spin that Danielle was trying to put her hairdresser at a disadvantage for not having Jennifer endorse her product. When all Danielle was telling Jennifer, just so you know, you're not just going to an event, you're going to an event where the content is going to be captured and it's going to be used to market, promote, and endorse the product.
But don't you find it hard to believe that Jennifer didn't know that already?
No, I actually find it extremely intelligent and smart by the hairdresser to basically invite a bunch of influential women to her hair product event, see if they'll come and do her a favor. She's a hairdresser that's, working. And then when they're there, take photos and then use them to her advantage. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, but wouldn't you think Jennifer is smart enough to understand that that's what's going to happen? She didn't actually think there would be no pictures, not Jennifer.
But if she did, then why would her response been, oh, wow, why? I'm not doing that then. And then she didn't go.
Yeah, see, I don't understand that part of it.
I already knew that.
I have a trouble with that.
I don't mind helping her out.
I had trouble following the whole thing, to tell you the truth.
Okay, well, what Jackie would have then said is, oh, good, you're taking a drink. I can talk. Danielle can then say, like, oh, okay, you know that? All right. I didn't want you to think that it was just a party. Again, she's my hair girl. So of course I'm going to help her out. She's Doloris's hair girl. I'm going to help her out, or Doloris is going to help her out, but she's not your hair girl, Jennifer. So don't feel like you got to do this. I can see both sides of why Danielle.
No, I see both sides. It's not that I don't see the sides, and even the altercation. I mean,
it's also no,
Danielle
but wait, Jackie
went into her face.
Jennifer struck out,
pushed her back, huh?
But Jennifer struck out with Danielle about the charity thing. They talked about it, and then Danielle said, "So is that why you're mad? Is that the reason?" And then that's when Jennifer said, "No, that's not the only reason." So it was like Jennifer wanted to get Danielle pissed off no matter what.
Yes, because she admitted that she had her number and she wasn't crazy about her when she was with Doloris and Teresa.
And I'll say this, I have a lot more empathy for Danielle getting attacked by Teresa and Jennifer than I do Margaret.
I agree, because she doesn't have anybody on her side, really, Danielle. She's kind of like her own little island.
She also hasn't done as much to everyone and said, that's not who I am. I don't have an arsenal. I'm a good person. She hasn't demanded an apology, done this, done that. Danielle had a really great first season. She's starting to now align with the other women. And I just think that, like, I don't know. I have my feelings on Danielle are mixed. I have to watch more. I have to see what happens with her because I like the Danielle that was just really funny last season. And I miss
Agreed.
that Danielle.
But I do think there's something to the fact that Danielle doesn't talk to her father now. She doesn't talk to her brother. And so there's something about that. You can't say that with Jennifer. She got everybody living at her house. There's always more people. So, I mean, and that is in aspect, I don't know. I'm going to tell you,
Do you
Danielle
also, though,
came.
have to admit that maybe Danielle isn't going to, okay, this is me saying something. People out there, listeners, are all going to come and attack me now. Jennifer did one of the more dirty things to her parents that I've ever seen. Put them up against each other on TV, made her mom look victimized. Her dad was a monster. Now, it's worked out fine, but at least Danielle has kept that off TV. She has just said, I don't talk to him. I'm not really like, but she hasn't
Well,
gotten
but her
into the
parents
weeds.
are already divorced, where Jennifer's is still together. They probably have the same relationship. We don't know. Jennifer's parents are still married. They
That's
never got
even
divorced.
worse.
They never got divorced. Well,
That's
because
even worse.
yeah, but that's their culture. They would never get divorced.
I get it, but it's even worse to make them look like they're monsters to each other. That would make more sense in Danielle's situation where they're divorced, but the mother's not really involved. Danielle's thing, I think, is a classic situation of boundaries. You and I know that all too well. And if we went on a TV show, people would have 1,000 questions and there really wouldn't be a huge story.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So look at
Okay.
it from that side.
Okay, so let's go back to this. So Danielle came at Jen.
Mm-hmm.
Jen pushed Danielle back.
Mm-hmm.
Danielle smashed the side of her head with the drink.
And if people hadn't jumped in and broke it up, the next thing would have been Jennifer throwing her drink at Danielle.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that it was timing. Nate jumped. I give Nate a lot of credit. He jumped in. I don't think he was inappropriate with what he said to Jennifer. And I really found some great amusement with Bill Aiden sitting at the table. He looked a little stoned. I don't think he was drunk. I think he had smoked a joint or something. He was really vibing and chilling, just sitting there.
It was
and then
just
his face was just like,
oh yeah, she's the devil. Okay. Yeah.
And then he comes outside and he's like, what happened, Jennifer?
Hey,
Bill,
maybe.
I give you a lot of
Maybe he
credit
was high.
because Bill 2 years ago would have gone up to Jennifer and said, why would you have to get violent? Why would you? He wouldn't have said what happened. He wouldn't have been there for her. So good listening, Bill. Maybe you'll sleep in the lawn chair now outside the pool house instead of in the pool house.
Oh my gosh.
Who was your mess?
Oh. Who was your mess?
I don't think that I don't think just based on where we're at with Housewives, the day of, Teresa and Danielle and Ashley Holmes pulling Danielle's hair and even Danielle pulling Margaret's weave, those days are over because of Bethany's bullshit and the reality reckoning.
Oh, yeah.
So I just don't like seeing anything get physical on these shows because it makes me nervous that they're going to just quickly get rid of them just to not have any issues.
Understood. The mess.
So I say Danielle and Jennifer co-messes just because I don't want either one of them to go.
No, and I would say they made it messy for the franchise.
No, they didn't. They made it messy for themselves.
They could have had their altercation without it, but you know what? I'm glad they did because I think it made good TV.
Oh, I love it.
I loved it. I loved it.
Anywho,
tell us in the comments, did you love that fight? And who do you think is to blame?
And it should be more fighting. Tell us.
No, where would you percentage-wise put the blame? I do 50-50. I think they had equal.
Yeah. And so we'll comment back. We love to follow us on Instagram, Aunt and Andrew, comment, like, share. We love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye.